Hey everybody, we are live on Facebook Live. This is our Thursday night spiritual tune-up for the Center for Spiritual Living, Pleasant Valley, and anybody else who wants to join us, which is really fabulous. So I'm Lissa Coffey, and I'm really happy to be here with you guys. It's right on the dot, 7 p.m. Yay, here we are. Okay, so our topic for tonight, and I'm going to really try to keep it to the 20 minutes, and there is a lot to talk about. I was thinking, remember back in the day, I don't know if it was the 90s or what, that the movie The Secret. There was a book, The Secret, and there was a movie, The Secret, and it was like huge, and everybody was into it, and it's all about the law of attraction and how if you want something, all you have to do is think about it and visualize it and, make these vision boards and all your dreams are going to come true. And it was hot because everybody wanted the stuff, the relationship, the car, the job, the, money, the raise, the house, the whole bit. That's what people wanted. And they thought, oh, if it's this easy, I'm going to manifest it myself. And The Secret was basically encouraging whoever watched it that you can do this, you can create this yourself, but it's not that easy. Okay, so I had two big problems with The Secret. Their secret, that's not the real secret. I'm going to tell you the real secret. The first problem is that it's not that easy, right? It's a lot of hard work to get what you want. You have to put in the effort. And sure, visualizing helps because it helps to give you ideas and things like that. But you have to move your feet. You have to go for it. You have to, put in the steps, like make those connections, build the relationships, work the business, like whatever it is that you want, save the money. You can't just expect that it's going to magically happen. It sounded way too easy to me the way they were describing it. Like, oh, all the universe is going to conspire to support you. You know what? It will if you're doing the work. So you got to work for it. The second thing that I had a real problem with that secret, the law of attraction secret, is that why do we want all that stuff anyway? That is not the goal of life. Mostly this stuff that we want, this desire that we have for whatever it is, the toys of life, the cars, the houses, the relationships, the raise, the money, the entertainment factor, whatever it is, most of that we think, oh, when I get that, I'm going to be happy. And what happens? We get that, and for a moment, it's like, cool, I did this, I got this, I have this, blah, 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 blah. And then not 10 seconds later, now it's old, it's not new anymore. It's like when you buy a new car and you pay full retail price, the minute you drive it off the lot, now it's a used car. Value's gone down, right? So our value goes down because the newness wears off. And also we find that throughout our life, these things, these toys, these accoutrements, these accessories, whatever you want to call them, the Birkin bag, the Tiffany diamond, whatever, doesn't bring us lasting happiness. In fact, it can bring us misery because we always end up wanting more or something better or something different. Like say you have a fancy, expensive diamond necklace. Did you know that you have to pay insurance on those things? You have to pay insurance, so that's going to cost you more money. So how are you going to get the money to pay for that? And then you got to work harder, maybe get a second job or whatever. What if it gets stolen? Are you going to be anxious and in fear every time you wear it out in public? Are you going to hide it in a drawer so that nobody finds it? Are you going to put it in a safe deposit? I mean, like, what? It's just going to create more problems for you, right? Because you have to have the insurance and you have to be covered and you have to be in fear when you're walking around in public that somebody's not going to steal it from you. there's that. Um, you know, the same thing with the car. What if you get a little ding in it? Then you got to fix it. Technology is the worst because you get your fancy new iPhone, and guess what? A couple months later, there's another one with a better camera and a faster speed and all that. And now you want that one instead, and you feel bad that you didn't wait, or you feel bad that you spent the money on the first one and now you don't have money for the second one. And it's just this cycle that when we figure out that that's not what makes us happy, that that is not what the goal of life is, then we're stuck thinking, what is it all about? What is the secret? You know, I'm going to clue you in on the real secret. And where do we find this? We find this in the Bhagavad Gita. So this is my version of the Bhagavad Gita. It's called Song Divine. It's an English rhyming verse. And there's a chapter in here called Mystery. It's chapter 9. These pictures, I'm telling you, Rajesh Nagulakonda is our illustrator. Is that awesome? Okay, awesome. So I'm going to start reading you what Krishna, and Krishna is an avatar. He is God incarnate. He was put on this earth to teach us these lessons. And these avatars come, you know, every once in a while, every few hundred years, to teach us these lessons. And we learn them and we get all excited about them, but then they fade away and the world starts falling apart again. So then a new avatar has to come. So Krishna wasn't the first and he's not the last. He says that in, you know, another chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. He's been here a few times bringing us these lessons. They're not going to let the world fall apart or sway too far to either one side or the other. We have to keep this happy medium, and it's going to keep moving. It's going to keep changing. It's just the way it is. So let's get into this. So Krishna says in chapter 9, and he's speaking with Arjuna. So Krishna's God incarnate. Arjuna is the archer. He's the one who represents all of us. He's the worker. He's the warrior. He's the one who is on the battlefield about to fight this war. And he doesn't know if he really wants to do it or not. He's like having cold feet. He's having anxiety. He's thinking he's outnumbered. He's going to lose. He's thinking he doesn't want to kill his kin, you know, his relatives, his neighbors, his friends, all on the other side. He's having a nervous breakdown. So Krishna, throughout the whole Bhagavad Gita, is kind of telling him what life's all about. And, you know, in the chapter before this, Arjuna's like, okay, so if it's not about the money, if it's not about the family, if it's not about the job, what is our purpose here? What? Tell me. Okay, and he answers, I've kept you long enough. Here's the secret. Krishna says, because you accept me and I see you trust me, let me share this secret of what it is that could be. So Krishna knows that Arjuna trusts him. But at the same time, Krishna trusts Arjuna too. He's not going to tell the secret to just anybody, right? Most people are not ready to hear it. Most people, even if they hear it, they won't believe it. Or, you know, they won't understand it. But he thinks Arjuna is ready, willing, and able to hear this secret and handle it. He thinks he's able to handle it. Here it goes. Knowledge of God, nearer than knowing. A vision so clear, direct and flowing, unties the binds from dying and birth. Understand this and be free of this earth. Knowledge bomb, right? Wisdom bomb. What does this mean? When he's talking about knowledge of God near the knowing, a vision so clear, direct and flowing, He's talking about knowing who you are, knowing what God is, knowing that connection we have with the divine, knowing how the world works. And then he's saying, when you know that, when you've got that, what happens to you? It unties the binds from dying and birth. Understand this and be free of this earth. It means we don't have to come back to this life anymore. This text is based in Hinduism and Eastern philosophy, which definitely believes in reincarnation. We are old souls. How do I know that? Because we're in a human body, which is such a gift. Being in a human body, it takes us hundreds, maybe thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of lives to get to this point. And what sets humans apart from any other animal is that we have a conscience. We have an intellect. We can reason things out. We have a memory. We can think for ourselves. Whereas a lot of other animals, right, they may be smart, and we know like dolphins are really smart. Many animals are really smart. But do they have self-reflection? Do they say, oh, I feel sad. Why am I sad? You know what I mean? They don't have that capacity in their intellect to reason through. A dog or a horse or a dolphin is not going to think, what is the meaning of life? Why am I here? What is my purpose? No, they're totally living in the moment, enjoying the moment. They're looking for comfort. They're looking for food. They're looking for the basic necessities. They're not saying, how can I better myself? It's up to us humans to train the animal or give them the opportunity to better themselves. But they aren't thinking about, okay, so in my next life, am I going to have a better life because I did this or I did that? Or, I really regret doing that thing and I won't do it again. That's very complex in the psyche, So we as human beings kind of have a responsibility, not only to ourselves, but to the entire planet, to better ourselves, to live our best life, to step up and help the world. And the best way we can help the world is by becoming enlightened, because an enlightened person has all the answers, gets along with everybody, is super kind, super helpful, helps other people, reaches out and helps other people to better themselves. So an enlightened master can teach and give and comfort and have compassion and, really help the world. So I don't know how many enlightened masters are on this planet right now. I'm sure we have some, because we always do. But Krishna certainly, as an avatar, was enlightened. Ramakrishna, who was on this planet just not too long ago, the beginning of the 1900s, he was here. We do have some examples of how to live their life. And we might even say someone like a Gandhi or a Mother Teresa or a Martin Luther King Jr. We could say maybe they were enlightened people too, because they were super smart and they had their priorities straight. So people like that set an example for us. And also all those people you'll notice that I mentioned, Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi, Mother Teresa, what did they also have in common? They had this spirituality. They had some kind of a religion. Even Albert Einstein, genius, right? If you watch that Genius series, that was on TV a while ago. I think it's streaming now. I hope you can still watch it. You'll see that he was a very spiritual person, and he knew that the answers weren't coming from his brain. He knew that they were coming from a higher source. There's also some creative people who really get it. Like the Beatles, when you read, they spent time in India, by the way, a lot of time in India. And when you look at the lyrics of some of their songs very carefully, you're like, yeah, they got it. And yeah, they were totally spiritual. You know, when they're singing, all you need is love. Is that the truth or what? I mean, yes, that's all we need. So love, you can define as God, the divine, our connection, our unity, our, each other. When you look into someone's eyes and you see that spirit within, that's love, you're looking with love. So it's very precious. It's very dear. But Krishna is saying that's what we need to aspire to. We don't need to aspire to have, a house in Beverly Hills or a Maserati or the fame, be president of the United States, be the number one TikToker, right? Be an influencer that has the most followers, Forget that. That's ridiculous. I don't know if it's this chapter or another chapter, but he says, when you go for those material things, that's easy enough to attain. Here on earth, that's easy enough to attain. Go for something that's real, that's lasting, that actually makes you happy. And that's the knowledge of God, having that direct relationship with God. And there's nothing like it, because that doesn't go away. It doesn't go away. It doesn't fade. It only gets better and better the closer you get. There's this analogy in Vedanta about, a campfire. And the campfire is light, and it's also heat, right? So you can see that light from very far away because it's so bright. But when you're far away, you don't feel the heat, right? So we could say, oh, I know there's a God. I see the light. I see the light. But do we feel the heat? Do we feel the love? No. How do we do that? We move closer to the fire. We come as close as we can, And by coming close to God, what does that mean for us? It means we read spiritual books. It means we pray. It means we chant. It means we meditate. We sing. We do things that we love. We serve people. We help people, Krishna says in one verse, all that you do to help one another, you do for me. There are no others. So any little thing you do, volunteer somewhere, give a gift, donate, there are some things that are easier to do than others. I think donating money is like low level, easy, like anybody can do it. But some service where you really get in there and you're helping them one-on-one, or you're helping a group of kids, or, you're volunteering, you're like, okay, I used to be a big sister with Big Brothers Big Sisters. That is a great way to, did I say big sister or did I say big brother? I was a big sister with Big Brothers Big Sisters. And that is a great way to really connect with someone and see the divine in that person and help them to be their best self. You could go to a senior center. For a while, I went to where my dad was living when he was alive. And once a week, we had this poetry club. And for an hour, a bunch of seniors sat around and we read poetry to each other, our favorite poems. And for me, it worked out great because it kind of forced my dad to be social. Otherwise, he'd sit in his room all the time. and it gave me something to do with him for that hour. So that was like a really cool experience. That's just one other thing you could do. Um, but it's up to you. I mean, you could paint a painting. I have a dear friend who is an artist. You know, she has a day job, but at heart, she is an artist, and she paints the most beautiful paintings, and they're like an expression of God. I mean, it's just paint on canvas, and the way it flows and everything is like, wow. And I mean, even just to do that is such a gift that she is giving the world, to have these paintings out there. But on top of that, what she's doing is when she sells the painting, the money's going to charity. It's so beautiful. It's helping a charity called Save the Children. And so that's helping feed kids and getting the education that they need and all that kind of stuff. You know, she keeps just enough to pay for supplies so that she can keep painting and keep painting. And it's such a wonderful gift. So, you know, people like that inspire me. They totally inspire me. And I think we all can be inspired by that. So let me read some more. We got to wrap up because it's 20 minutes already. But Krishna reminds us, this is the king of secrets, the knowledge most high, only made plain in the mystic's eye. The secret has virtue. The secret is pure. The truth of this secret is eternal and sure. So Krishna is saying that it's called a secret because not many people know it. I think the majority of people, if you ask them, what is life all about? They would say, oh, it's about family. Oh, it's about, you know, getting ahead and supporting your family, or, you know, living comfortably. It's about working towards retirement. You know, they might say any of those kind of things, right? But how many, like Krishna would say, of all the thousands and thousands and thousands of people on the world, how many would say the point of living life on earth is to get enlightened, is to know God, is to make God the priority? I don't know how many. But now you know the secret. So the question is, what are you going to do about it? Right? What are you going to do about it? You know the secret. I told you. Actually, I didn't tell you. Krishna told you. Krishna told you the secret. I'm just passing it along. I didn't make it up. Okay, so if you want to know more about Song Divine, go to songdivine.com. I have a free email newsletter that gives you the daily Gita, day by day by day by day. You can take a whole year to learn the Gita verse by verse. I also have videos of the Gita every day by day, on my YouTube channel, on my Facebook page, and on my Instagram page. So there's no excuse not to study this magnificent text. All right. I love you guys. I've enjoyed my time with you. I'm going to go to my chanting group now, because every Thursday night I have a chanting group where we all sing together, and that's one way we help lift each other up, and it's so fun. Just another example of how we can connect on a real spiritual level. All right, love you guys. Good night. Namaste. Hari Om.